Welcome back, folks, to another episode of Eat, Drink, Real Estate Podcast. I'm here with a dear friend of mine, Peyton Roop, with Promotive Marketing. So, Peyton, I'm going to jump around with my script today. You know, everybody knows that I like doing that. I like keeping people on their toes. And I don't think my guests necessarily like it that much either. So, tell me a little bit about Promotive Marketing. What's it about? How did you start the business? And just give me your raw explanation.
Well, like when it comes to business and starting my business, I never thought of myself as an entrepreneur. I never thought that I was going to be a business owner. Kind of a weird story that went into be. Like I always was involved with marketing and sales early on in my jobs and my career. Had an opportunity to leave like a safety net of a job. During that time, it was like salary, benefits, things like that. Had a career path in a corporate setting. You know, somebody asked me if I would come help grow his small business. At the time, he was doing about $225,000 a year, and it was just him and one other guy. When he brought me in, he kept hiring like marketing companies to do like SEO or website design and Google ads. We just felt like we were getting burned from them, right? So like we would have like an SEO company come in that was supposed to be writing blogs and helping us rank higher on Google and things like that, and we weren't getting any results. So we were investing in paid advertising to where we were paying more for the ads that were going out than the revenue that we were generating for our business. I told the owner at the time, like, hey, I think this is something that I can look into and save us money and start getting better results for. And everything stacked up. And within 12 months of me being there, we grew the company from $225,000 to over $1 million. 6 months later, they were doing $1.5 million. And now they're a multiple seven-figure company. So like during that period, I started learning like how to develop programs to grow small businesses. Within the last year of working there, it really felt like God was moving me into a different direction. Like over the course of that year, just had different moments and signs where I felt like I was getting pulled to start my own company because the passion I had to grow small businesses. Like every time I talk to my wife about it and we get to that point where it's like, hey, maybe we pulled the trigger, it was, no, but the money's good right now. You know, we just bought a house. Our daughter was about to be born, and it made a lot of sense to stay and kind of push through and put the vision and where I felt like I was being called in the back seat until it wasn't. So about a month before my daughter was born, the owner of the company brought me in, sat me down, and was basically said that they were restructuring our pay. That restructure was going to be a 50% decrease in my pay. So it was 50, right? So in that moment, I felt like God was calling me, like he was telling me like, hey, look, either you're with me or you're not. Like either you're going to make this jump and do what I'm calling you to do, or you're going to keep doing what you're doing, right? And so in that moment, I got everything ready to go the next few months, build my website and doing things like that, and then I launched Promotive. Mm-hmm. So that, in a nutshell, became the journey and the vision for that. At the time, for me and my wife, it was supposed to be like a 3-month experiment to where it's like, let's try it out for 3 months. This is what you feel like you're supposed to do. And now it is what it is today, right? So we're serving multiple small businesses around Illinois and throughout other states of the country to where we're helping them grow.
Oh, that's perfect. You know, in small business, helping small business. I love that. Yeah. You know, it's the backbone of America. And I like how you incorporate God and, you know, your faith into that as well, which I feel like a lot of people, you know, nowadays, you know, are just too afraid to put that into, you know, their business. But I love that. It's refreshing, and I'm sure it's rewarding. I'm not a business owner yet, but I do plan on being one day. So that's fantastic. Yeah. So that is a perfect segue into my next question. So why do so many small businesses feel, you know, burned out with the marketing agencies so far? I mean, I get bombarded with it a ton that, or even just like my social media, all of that. So what's kind of the take with that?
Well, the biggest thing is like, I feel like most businesses are like, feel like they've been burnt by a marketing company because they probably have. I mean, like that's the biggest thing. So when it comes to that, like whether it's the examples I gave it, right? They're spending way too much in advertising. They spend $1,000, $10,000, $20,000 into a Google Ads campaign that just doesn't work because it wasn't set up properly. Right. So that's one avenue, right? Or marketing company that locks them into a 12-month agreement to where it's like you're with us for 12 months regardless, and then they're paying that marketing company like no matter how many leads or how many jobs they get from it, they're locked into that contract, right? Mm-hmm. So a lot of times what happens is a marketing company will bring them in, show them like, hey, this is what we did for a company in your area, right? Lock them into that. Leads start coming in within the first 60, 90 days. And then after that, it just plateaus. And because they're locked in, so they can't go anywhere, right? Or they have a huge buyout in the clause to where they have to pay a bunch of money to get out of it. So they've been burnt that way. Another avenue of how they've been burnt too. So like long-term contracts, pay-per-click, the SEO, so search engine optimization. So that I was gonna ask you, like, yeah,
I didn't want to seem like that guy. Like,
search engine optimization. So that's SEO. So that's basically your ability to rank higher on Google. Okay. So like if you're typing in realtors near me, right? Those top 10 realtors or so, top 6 realtors, those are going to be the people on the first page of Google. So there's different things like producing and creating content, whether it's through your social media or your website to help rank you higher on Google. So it does take some time. If you have a brand new like domain or a website link that you've never launched a website, it's going to take a long time for you to start ranking higher. There's certain things that you can do to rank higher on Google. But what happens is these companies will hire a marketing company. They'll say SEO takes 6 months to get results. Well, 6 months in, they've gotten 0 results, 0 reporting, anything. Thousands of dollars spent and then nothing to show for it, right? So they get in that cycle. And the other thing is they're in the dark a lot of times. So like there's some clients that we have acquired because of a previous marketing agency gave them no reporting whatsoever. They'll have a spreadsheet that anybody, like Tom, like anybody could type out a spreadsheet and put anything they want in there, and they'll send them to their clients saying, this is the results that we got. Well, in reality, that's not where they're ranking. If you do an audit of anything that they're doing, it can contradict what that spreadsheet that anybody can produce is, right? So there's other reporting platforms like our agency gives them a live reporting dashboard where at any time during the day, it's 24/7. They can go on that dashboard and see how high they're ranking, what their cost per lead is, how many leads we generated for them. So we like to have that transparency, and our clients are never in the dark, right? So those are like a few of the big avenues of people getting burnt. And the last thing is they'll hire a marketing company that just wants to perform marketing services for you. Like our marketing company is not for everybody, because if you want somebody that just takes orders and runs Google Ads or posts on social media and things like that, that's fine, but that's not us. Like when you want
a little bit of a homey aspect to your business.
It's a partnership, right? Yeah. So it's like having the knowledge that we have of growing another small business and like inside of it, like there's consulting that we do, whether it's sales and marketing, to be like, hey, if you're hiring us, you're hiring a partner. We're gonna like tell you what we're seeing, what we recommend. Ultimately, it's our client's decision of what they want to do, right? Mm-hmm. But we're not order takers. Right. Like you're hiring us knowing that when we come in, like we're as equally dedicated to get your results as you are. And so that's where a lot of marketing companies do it wrong. They're burning companies because they're just going to run services and they're focused on clicks or impressions and stuff like that, and not revenue. Because none of it matters. I can get you 100,000 impressions on your website, but if it doesn't get one sale, you're going to be pretty upset.
Right.
So
what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Spinning our wheels.
Yeah. So it doesn't make sense at that point, right? Yeah. The short answer to that is they feel that way because they've been burnt. And that's the hard part about my job, is continuing to build that trust up when so many of our potential clients or so many companies have been burnt by other marketing agencies. How do we set ourselves apart? How do we build that trust with them so they can let us in to be a partner within their business?
Mm-hmm. So. Right. Absolutely. So with that being said, I know we do focus on real estate, and, that's why I kind of like brought you on. It is real estate focused, but I also love the small business aspect of it too, because, I want my listeners to succeed, and, it doesn't necessarily have to be always real estate. So what's some of the biggest marketing mistakes that you see people making today?
Yeah, I would say the biggest marketing mistakes is not doing anything online. Okay, so I get it. I'm a digital marketing company. I'm going to say that referrals are great. So I'm not going to knock referrals or like traditional marketing because it's the number one form of business, right? Like referrals are free advocates for your businesses, for your small business or you being as a realtor, right? It's easy. You already have that layer of trust built into that. So like, I'm going to trust my friends and family that say, hey, you need to go to Tom for any of your title needs, right? Well, all of a sudden, Tom, you have a layer of trust that I would not normally have for you because I have people that I trust within my inner circle that's referring you, right? And it doesn't cost me anything to market that, right? Because it's a referral. The problem with being so dependent on that is you're limited to the network of people that you have in their network. So what happens when it runs out, right? Or what happens when that network of people already bought a house last year and they don't need a house the next 3 years? Absolutely. What do you do now? Or the aspect of if somebody's moving in from out of town as a realtor, right? And they don't know who to call, what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to pull out their phones and look it up, right? Right. So if you're not listed on Google, if you're not building out content and they can't find you, then you're obviously not going to get that lead, right? Or that job or that sale or whatever it is. So that's a big avenue behind that. The other thing, the example I always use for small businesses, right? So like, let's say we have a lot of people we talk to that are old school, that have been word of mouth, that have been referrals. They're not online at all. And it's awesome that they were able to do that for 20 to 30 years, but things are changing. You can't put an ad in a phone book and get the same result as what you get now. So the example I always give them is like, okay, what if you're on vacation? Okay. And this is an example for a restoration client. You're on vacation, you're in your Airbnb or whatever it is, right? And your house, a pipe bursts in your house. What are you going to do? Like if you need to hire somebody to come out, you're probably going to call the Airbnb person, right? But if they're not able to help you, how are you going to find the contractor that's in Florida that you're in an area that you don't know of? Right. You're going to have to Google it, right? So if you're not popping up on Google, you're already doing yourself a disservice because you're not going to show up. You're losing out on leads, right? So that's the number one mistake that we see. The other thing is this world is becoming so digital. I mean, everybody when they pull out their phones, right, and you're scrolling through stuff, it's not still post anymore. It's videos, right? Yes, absolutely. So, big advocates on video. Yeah. I mean, what are we doing right now? Right. Exactly. So that's the other thing too, is like if you're not creating content like online, you're missing out on an opportunity to make yourself an authority figure in your space. Like Tom, you have forgot more about like title companies in this business that I will ever learn in my lifetime. It's just true. Same thing with realtors. They know more about real estate than their clients will ever know forever. So why would you not take the opportunity to pull out your phone and say, let's take a video today of the top 3 ways you can get more money for your house when you sell it, right? Or something as simple as that, and create a post, create a blog on it, because now all of a sudden you're an authority figure in Chicago for this information, or you're an authority figure in Bloomington Normal because you're the one who's actually writing out different helpful tips that people are able to utilize, right? So that's just a cool aspect, and we do that too for our company. We gotta take our own medicine sometimes, right? So we started doing a Tuesday tip to where it's like, hey, we're gonna educate small business owners on different ways they can help grow their business online. Those are a couple avenues and mistakes we're seeing. The other thing I wanted to mention too, Tom, is educate everybody on social media. So social media used to just be like brand awareness tool to where it's like, hey, if you need your roof repaired, contact us at this phone number. Well, Google recently this summer has let social media posts be indexed, so they're now subject to indexing. So basically that comes back to our SEO, our search engine optimization. Before your social media, just the page. So whether it's like Tommy Bender Instagram, right? Like your page would come up as at Google if somebody searched Tommy Bender, but your post wouldn't necessarily come up, right? Okay. So now Google allows individual posts to be indexed. So what that basically means is, like, if for the example I had before, where you're, hey, top three ways to get more money out of your listing or whatever it is, that post all of a sudden and that video can start popping up on Google when people are typing those in. And the search results. Yeah, so the game has completely changed. So it used to be a brand awareness. They have to go into your Instagram or your Facebook to like learn more about you and what you do. Well, now you can just start showing up, which is a pretty cool aspect. So,
God dang it. Listen, realtors, finally a marketing guy that knows what he's talking about, knows what he's doing. So why is relying only on referrals risky for realtors and other small businesses?
Yeah, so we talked about it, right? So it's like if you're only relying on referrals, at some point in time, your business could plateau based on your individual network or the network of the referrals that are coming in, right? So like an example we deal with small businesses that are doing like, let's say $500,000, $1 million a year, right, in revenue. Well, they can't get past that $1 million mark. Well, why can't they get past it? Well, they're only getting referrals and they're not doing any online advertising.
Right.
Okay, so like when you're not online, the search, and this could change. I mean, it changes all the time. But as of right now, when you type in a search, whether it's realtors near me or roofing contractors near me, right, the search results will always show up as Google local service ads #1. So those are Google LSA is what people call them, or Google Guarantee. Those ads are tied to your Google business profile, which is like your Google Maps, right? When you're searching for a company like a diners near me or coffee near me, those are the results that usually pop up, right? So they have ads that are tied to your Google page. Those are #1. Okay, #2 is always going to be Google pay-per-click. So this is the thing that you hear people are like, oh, Google ads don't work. We spent thousands of dollars and we never got anything from it. It's probably true. If you don't set it up the right way, you can drain a lot of money in there. But yeah, it's not good. So those will always be, as of right now, those are #2. After that, then you have your traditional Google business profile, which is what we talked about. Those are your Google Maps where you're going to see 3 businesses in the top and you have to click more to see all the businesses in your area, to where you can see the reviews, things like that, column, whatever it is, right? After that is your local SEO. So those are just like your actual website and how it's ranking. So it's free, it's not paid, it's just your organic search results popping up and how high you're ranking, right? So here's the problem with that. If you're relying only on referrals and you're not investing in your SEO, your Google business profile, if you don't have a Google business profile, if you're not doing Google pay-per-click or Google local service ads, there's no possibility for you to be popping up online at all. That's a problem. If you're not doing one of those things, you're going to have an opportunity for your competitor to pop up above you. So like the programs and the marketing solutions that we offer to companies is making sure that we can try to get them in a position where it's boom. Citywide title is #1 on Google local service ads. Citywide title is #1 on pay-per-click. Citywide title is #1 on Google business profile. Citywide title is #1 on SEO. Because if you're there 4 times, I mean, somebody's like, well, dang, like they're right there. I mean, I've seen them 4 times. They're going to have a pretty good opportunity to click your name and call you guys, right? So that's the ultimate goal. And if you're not doing that and you're relying only on referrals, well, you're never going to have the opportunity for people to find you online if they don't have a network that you can tap into.
I completely agree. And that touch system is so important, especially with, we're both in sales. So, as many times as possible, you can get in front of these people, get your touch system going. Yep. That's imperative to our work. So I completely understand that. So we talked a little bit about, promotive marketing and, what you're about. Is there anything in particular where you stand apart from your competitors?
I think the partnership is the biggest one. Like we work with all small businesses. So like when they hire us, they're not just getting the program that's built out. Like we have clients that we work with that it's like, hey, can you take care of this? Well, they're our client. We're their partner. If we feel like it's going to help get them better results, we'll just do it. Right. That's what it comes down to. So a client that comes to mind, we work with or we partner with a fencing company in like the Illinois Valley. It was an example of they wanted to pivot some of our solutions to more video ads, like Facebook ads, things like that. Well, we weren't like, okay, well, we're only doing this for you. We're like, oh yeah, let's do that and see what happens, right? Because what our ultimate goal is to get them more business. It's not to perform a service. Like I said before, if you want an order taker, you can go find somebody else. There's about 100,000, probably 1 million marketing companies out there that you could probably hire. It's not who we are, and that's not what we're passionate about, right? So the partnership aspect and the consulting of that, we have monthly meetings that we talked about, where we sit down and we go over like that live reporting dashboard. Here's what we did really well this month. Here's where there needs to be some improvement. This is our game plan for the next month. Here's the results that we got. Is there anything that you're seeing within your business that we can help you out with? Is there any problems that we can solve for you? That's that partnership. That's that relationship. It's not like, oh yeah, we did great, even though we didn't, because that's where so many people get it wrong. Some of those other ways that companies get burnt, right? What we talked about before is the mistrust. So the long-term contracts, right? And not performing, being hidden in the dark. So what we do, we don't lock people into long-term deals. It's a month-to-month agreement. The only thing we ask of our clients is 90 days, because a lot of times it takes about 60 to 90 days to really optimize some of those Google Ads campaigns and things like that to start seeing some results, and we'll know within 90 days if it's working out or not. But we don't lock them into long-term deals. We don't hold them for ransom with the things that we build. So after we're done, because some companies do that, right? So they'll be like, well, if you're not with us, then we take everything. No, everything that we build for them, they receive at the end of the day. So some of our programs include brand new websites or website redesigns. If they decide to leave at that point, we just ask for a 30-day notice, and then they're going to have access to all their websites, everything else that we do for them, because that's theirs.
Well, that's nice, because I don't know how many marketing packages I come across. Same thing, not in that regard, but like you do feel tethered down. Yep. To and you feel almost trapped sometimes, and then you feel, I think that's where the mistrust comes with marketing companies. You don't get your bang for your buck, and then you feel like you got price gouged and you got ripped off. And I've seen it happen a few times, thankfully not to me.
Would you want to be a part of a partnership to where it felt one-sided and you felt trapped?
Yeah.
No, like nobody wants to feel that way. So if it starts becoming that way, it's like it's better off that we're probably not partners at that point anyways. We want a mutual respect. We want them to respect the things that we're doing for them, and vice versa. They want to feel respected too, and that we understand what they're going through, right? And we're hearing what they're saying. So that's kind of the partnership aspect that we try to utilize. The other thing that we're doing for small businesses, so we've been doing this for a while now. And so before, we had these programs that were built out to where it's like, okay, we'd have people call in and say, hey, I can't afford that program. Well, then what I would end up doing is give them recommendations on how to get to the point where they can afford it, right? And I just didn't feel right about that. It's like, okay, well, I'm telling a business owner that it's like, you have to do this, this, and this, and then once you afford it, give me a call back. I just didn't like it, right? So one thing that we have kind of started dabbling into is like these smaller business owners that come to us that can't afford like a big program that we know is going to get them results, right? And they can't afford it. We're kind of dabbling with a performance-based marketing structure too, which is one thing that's going to be a little bit different than what other marketing companies do, to where they only pay us when they close sales. So like that's a completely different model that some people like, some people don't like. The only risk falls on us though. It doesn't fall on the client, which is nice for some of these clients that are trying to work their way up to grow, right? That they have no other solution. Well, now it's okay, well, let us do our thing. We'll make a percentage based on the performance that we bring you, and then you can have the whole suite of services that we offer to help make you successful too. Right. So that's another thing. We're in the early stages of that and trying to really iron it out. It's one of those programs that it's not advertised for everybody, because there's a whole nother level of vulnerability and trust when it comes to that, because it has to do with like numbers, right? That's not this, right? We're going to be your partner and we're investing in your success, but there's a lot that can go wrong. So, but that's one area that we're looking to improve on, because the industry's changing and it's just a better solution for business owners, to where if it doesn't work out and we don't get them results, it doesn't cost them anything, only costs us our time, and I can sleep a heck of a lot better at night knowing that that's the outcome of it.
So speaking of success, you mentioned the duckling company in the beginning, so they're a successful story for you. Yeah. Do you have any others that you want to share? Anybody you want to specifically shout out? Or
we had a company that came to us early on that didn't have any online presence. They were trying to start their moving company, and so they had it going where all they had was a Facebook at the time that was taking screenshots of the 5-star reviews that they were getting. That was it. That's all they had, and it wasn't edited or anything. It was just clips, which is fine, which is completely fine. But it was like, okay, we got to work on some branding stuff, right? So they came to us. We built them a brand new website, and we started getting them like listed online and started ranking locally. So at the time, they had no profile. They had reviews, but they weren't on their Google page where people look at them. You know, they can look at your Facebook, but it feels a little bit more real when it's on a Google business profile, because that's what everybody had. Built a website, helped them with local SEO. They started from basically scratch, right? And it took a little bit of time to get going. Now, a year later, they are getting 40 plus calls a month for their moving companies for sales calls, and they're probably getting 5 to 10 online submissions. So right there, we like pretty much help them transform their business in that aspect, because it was 0 calls to 50 is quite the difference. They're happy, and we're happy with the outcome that we got with them. I mentioned the fencing and decking company before in the Illinois Valley. They did a few things, but didn't really focus on SEO or anything. We had a big win where they were typing in ChatGPT, best fencing and decking companies in the area. They were number 1, which is pretty cool, through AI. So that was a neat thing that we were able to do for them. They also hit $1 million faster than they ever have with us this year as being a partner. So that was a pretty big and pretty awesome achievement for them. So they're going to have a record-breaking year. I would say one of the coolest stories we had, though, is we had a general contractor come to us. They were about to close down their business in the wintertime. Like, they had a crazy circumstance to where they weren't getting any jobs, any work. They contacted us. We started running Google ads for them. Well, and within a month, we were able to run ads for like general contracting. We booked them off a $1,500 ad spend to $250,000 jobs. So that was a pretty good ROI for them. They ended up making $500,000 that month, and then that doesn't even include all the other leads that we've been generating for them. So definitely a 180 turn from them having to close down shop. We worked with them to help get them to the point where they are now.
Do you notice with like some of these companies with the success stories, do they keep using you? Do you find that once they've hit a point where they can, they're crawling and walking at that point, now they're running. Yeah. Do you notice that they don't need that help anymore, or? So
that's a great question. Every client's completely different, right? I would say 95% of our clients stay with us just because of the consulting approach that we have. So like, we're more than a marketing company at that point, to where it's like, hey, we're giving them ideas on promotions. We're giving them ideas on sales structure. There's a 14-day follow-up system that we built for our clients where it sends them emails and texts for inbound leads that come in, to where, like most of these guys, Tom, that we work with, like small businesses, realtors, like they're on the go all the time. They're showing a house, they're doing whatever they need to do, right? So what's the last thing they want to do when they're on the road and things like that is send a text and an email, right? So we have a system built out to where we follow up with those leads for them, and then have a cadence or like a timeline where it sends them a reminder, hey, you need to call this person this day. And the whole goal for a realtor, right, is to get them to a showing, to sell a house for them, or to get them to buy a house, or for small businesses to schedule an estimate and sell a job. So there's stuff like that we implement that's not just marketing, but it's a different approach for that partnership. They feel like they have a partner and not somebody who's just doing marketing services for them. Mm-hmm. If we were only running Google ads and not doing anything else and not showing any other value, it makes a lot of sense that they're up in the ground running now, to where they don't probably need a marketing person. But we just try to find every way to provide more value to our clients.
Welcome back, folks. Part 2 of Eat, Drink, Real Estate podcast, sitting down with Peyton Roop with Promotive Marketing. We've got just a little bit left here. You've been a fantastic guest. And for those that don't know our relationship, our family members will be watching this. But, Peyton's pretty much my brother. Married Olivia Borchelt, also my sister. Pretty much. Been to your wedding, yep. Been to many family events together. I was actually with you the other week. Yep. So you've been a fantastic guest. And, with all that being said, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're doing this. This is great stuff. I want to help you promote your business. And this has been great for me.
Thank you, Tom, like for the opportunity to come in here and help promote our business and anything that we can do for you guys too. We'd love to help you out, but it's been an awesome time. So
let's get into it. Your next question is really resonates with this community, the real estate community for sure, because AI is such a fast developing thing. It's almost like and I've done podcasts with, AI people, and they're like, don't think of it as such a taboo kind of thing. So people do get a little bit turned off by that word, I think, but I think it's just something that's going to help people. So how is AI changing small businesses in your area of expertise and the real estate market?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's everywhere. You're not going to avoid it. Like you said, it's a little taboo. So some people are scared of it. Like if you ask my dad or my grandpa, they think it's psychotic. They are terrified of it. They're terrified of what it means for everything, right? Whether it's jobs and things like that. What I will say, it's not going away. So the faster that you can be ahead of the curve of different like prompts and strategies behind AI and utilizing ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, whatever you're going to utilize it for, the better off you're going to be. So like when it comes to like realtors and small businesses, some of those things that they can do is like, I've been preaching content, right? I've been talking about that today, where it's content, video, stuff like that. Well, go into ChatGPT and let it do the work for you. Like if you want to figure out ideas to post or things that people are looking up, first thing I would do is go into Google and type in realtors near me, okay? And scroll to the bottom where you have the FAQ section where people are asking questions for realtors. Take a snippet, a question where it's like, how do I sell my house for more? Or, or when the best time to sell my house is. Take those questions, put them into AI, and say, I want to write a video script for this. I'm a realtor in this area. What is the best way to do this to rank higher with local SEO? What are like 5 key talking points that I could talk on, right? Well, the thing is like they're already going to have knowledge of that area. They're going to be able to do a lot of that, but AI is going to be able to give them some ideas of video content they can do to answer that question that person's asking. So what that does is once you post it, whether it's like a blog on your website or a video that you have on social media, you're going to have a better opportunity to rank in those FAQ sections or with the AI summaries. You've probably seen that now where you search something and AI summaries coming up. Oh, yeah. Well, answer some of those questions that people are asking. That's as simple as that, right? And use AI to leverage that. Like you don't have to. Some people put so much pressure on themselves when it comes to social media and content in general. You have a lot of expertise and knowledge of a certain topic. Let AI do the hard work, the heavy lifting for you to get those key talking points, tweak it to whatever you want it to be, and just go out there and do it, right? It takes out the thinking aspect of like, oh man, this is a big task to have to do. Well, now I have 10, 20, 30 different topic ideas that I can plan out because I prompted AI on different ideas to be able to produce for this time of year in my industry. So realtors specifically, right? You're getting a lot of correspondence, whether it's text messages, calls, emails. Well, how can you leverage AI to create either templated email responses or to clean up your response to where you can type in something quick, it knows your voice and tone because it's in your project, and then you submit it, reads it, and it spits out a written professional email or text that you're going to send to them, right? So that takes out having to sit there and think about, I mean, I've been there, right? I've sat there and looked at an email for 20, 25 minutes, like, is this good enough? Do I need to change anything, right? So it takes that aspect of it, gives you ideas for topics and videos and ideas of that nature. The other thing it's going to do is you can use it in a way, we talk about referrals, right? Well, how do you keep your name in the forefront of your referrals minds or your prospects' minds or your former clients' minds, right? It's email marketing, newsletters. Set up a monthly newsletter you can send out to people where this is what's going on in the industry. This is what we're seeing. This is why I know what I'm talking about. So, help utilize AI to start creating some of that content for you. And a lot of people are scared about rankings. Like, are you going to rank, is Google going to punish you for using AI? or is Google going to rank AI better than other people? What I will say about that is there's nothing, and we have a network of marketing companies that we talk to and we work with on a daily basis. Right now, what we're seeing is there's nothing that is punishing AI generated content.
Oh, okay.
As long as it's unique. That's the caveat of it, because like, Tom, like if we typed in create a blog on how to sell your house for more, right? And you just copied and pasted that blog. Well, there's nothing of your personality, nothing of your experience, nothing of your industry or anything like that in that blog. It's not going to do as well. Right. So you still have to have your own unique content behind that. So one thing that I would recommend, we use ChatGPT a lot to utilize in some of the campaigns and things that we're seeing, right? There's a projects. If you have the Pro, you can set up different projects. So what we do is we ask AI, we'll say something along the lines of, let's say, for example, you're a roofing company, right? So we are a roofing company in Chicago, Illinois. We are trying to develop different content ideas, social media posts, like anything that's unique and relevant to us to help us rank higher on Google is what I would type in there. Ask me a series of 10 to 15 questions to get an idea of who we are as a business, our own processes and opinions that we can answer for you to generate better content for these avenues or whatever it is, right? Boom. It's going to pop out 10 to 15 questions. Take out your phone, record a voice memo on there of you answering all those questions start to finish. Give it as much detail as possible. Copy that transcript in there. Throw it into AI. Boom. Now it's going to generate a document for you of all your answers and everything you have.
That's awesome.
Download that document when you have it. And then now you can add that to different chats and project files to where it's like, hey, look at our project files of this is who we are as a company. Okay. Now create a social media post around this or that. Right. Now it's going to generate a post or a blog or anything that's unique to your business and not just something in general. Right. I mean, that market is so saturated. Like you could find a realtor like every corner of every place, yes. Right? So it's the same thing. It's like, how are you going to be unique? What is the content you're going to create? Leverage AI and everything it's changing because it's not going away. So you might as well use it as an asset to your company. I mean, some people use it as an assistant, like a personal assistant. It can literally do anything that you want it to do. From like a picture standpoint, I mean, there's some real videos that are out there of Yetis going around talking in people's houses and walking through and stuff like that are completely AI generated. Yeah, there's a full-blown Yeti. I got to show you that video. So like you can pretty much use it for anything. What I will say is don't be lazy with the prompt. Because the more detail you can give that prompt, the better output you're going to be. If you put our team in the same room with somebody else, and like what we talked about earlier, if it says generate this prompt for us, our output is going to be significantly better than anybody else that doesn't have the experience or knowledge of AI just because we know how to prompt it. It's not because our AI is better, we're using the exact same thing. It's what you're actually putting inside that chat or that prompt to utilize it. The best example I have is my brother-in-law. He'll get on a tangent where he's looking up values of sports cards, okay? And he'll get super upset when he can't figure out the value and say, AI is broken, it doesn't work. Well, that's hilarious to me because we utilize it so much that there's so much that it's capable of, but it's all about the prompt. Utilize it. Don't waste it. And like I said, make it unique to who you are and who you are as a company, because the better off you do that, the higher you are going to rank.
So I shouldn't be afraid of AI.
Don't be afraid of AI. I mean, it can, just like anything else, if you use it in the wrong way, it can be scary and dangerous. For me as a marketing agency, a lot of marketers don't push AI, and the reason they don't do it is because they're scared it's going to replace them, right. Which in reality it probably is. To be honest with you, that's why we have to develop different things and work within AI so we're not replace AI. That's the value proposition I mentioned to you before. It's like, how can we find different solutions and different ways to provide our clients more valuable to make ourselves seem irreplaceable to our clients? And it's not marketing services, because AI is going to take over Google Ads. They're going to be able to have a system or a software they punch in their ads. It's going to take over SEO in a sense, and it's going to be able to create their own content. What's it not going to be able to take over? Brands and business development, sales, things like that. Right now. I mean, it probably will in 15 years, but like within the next 5 years, that's why marketing companies are scared, or like content writers, because AI can produce really good content. They're scared and saying, well, don't do it because you're not going to rank. They're positioning themselves in a position to where they can be replaced and not providing other services and solutions to their clients. I see. Right.
So the real question is your dad and your grandpa able to use AI now? Did you get them hooked on it?
No, they still won't use it. No, they won't use it.
Let's revisit this in about a few months, and then I'll ask the same question.
Oh, it's going to be my grandpa. There is zero hope. He's an old school guy. He doesn't need it for anything. There's nothing. My dad, he's young enough to where we can start implementing into that. And it depends on your industry too and your career. Like you can pretty much use AI for anything, right? But like my dad's a PE teacher, right? So there's not much that he's going to necessarily need it for unless he's trying to get better advice on his fantasy football team or whatever it is, right?
That's right. Do his picks.
Yeah, so there's different industries that are going to be able to utilize it better. Realtors, it's like I mentioned before, there's so much content that you should, with a market that's so saturated, how are you going to differentiate yourself between your competitors?
Right, that's the number one question everybody asks.
It's content. Well, if you don't feel comfortable with producing content, we'll have an assistant help you generate the content you need to produce. It's just it's simple as that. Right? You don't need anybody telling you. You don't need to pay for a program. You don't necessarily need to pay for a marketing company if you're going to actually do it, right? You utilize your resources first with ChatGPT or Claude or whatever AI service you're having to start implementing those content creation, different ideas and topics and stuff like that.
So you pretty much answered my last question. So that's it. That's all I have for you today. So where can my viewers, your viewers find you? You have Instagram, phone number, areas you work out of. You pretty much service all of Illinois, right? Yeah,
all of Illinois. We're pretty much nationwide. So the beauty of what we do is we can do it from anywhere, right?
Remote, nice.
Yeah, but we do love the face-to-face interaction. So we have a location in Peru and then Bloomington Normal. Our website is promotivellc.com. Our phone number is 815-477-8101. So you can contact us either of those sources. Our email address is contact@promotive, so PROMOTIVE LLC.com too. Give us a call, shoot us an email. We also have a link where you can book a discovery call straight from our website too. So if you don't want to contact us until you do, you can do it that way as well.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So,
we'll put that up.
Yep. And then obviously we're on every social media platform too, so you can find us that way as well.